our first COVID-19 loved one that came into our care. I remember a family coming into Bexley Heath.
It's quite scary, wasn't it?
Massively. Going through arrangements, and then they actually said that COVID was sort of the cause of death, and that was scary. That's what it hit home.
But didn't you find that overnight it was like, right, we had our first COVID-19 funeral, we'd heard about it on the news, we'd seen it happen in China, then all of a sudden we was faced with it, and I just remember it like it was yesterday, just literally overnight the phone calls didn't stop coming.
Yeah, I think you didn't want to believe anything because it was in the media and everything else, and you kind of sort of distanced yourself.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I think I'm the same. It's only when it kind of hit you firsthand that you think, wow.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, the phone call.
Do you know what I found the hardest though was, and I'm sure you did as well, just having to say no.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think when the reality hit, when we stopped with the limousines, we stopped giving the limousines.
Well, I remember you phoning me up and you was moaning at me saying, you know, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But it was, the reality was where I'd actually taken myself off funerals, so I wasn't going out on funerals, and yourself and a few of the other conductors, it was taking almost all job satisfaction away from you.
Yeah.
And I remember it like it was yesterday when you were saying to me, but you know, come on, like, you can't cut numbers, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's so unfair on families. But that was reality. And again, if we hadn't done that, you know, we had to look after our staff.
Oh, in hindsight, we went the right way about what we did.
And we almost had to go that way. The amount of funerals we was doing.
Yeah.
It was crazy. How many funerals did you do?
I think in one day, maybe 4s, 5s. Another hard bit of it was taking our own car to the house.
Because you had to separate.
Parking 100 yards in front of the house, live location with the hearse driver, loads of people out on the street, walking back to the house where there's lots of people about, to do your job, then to walk away, to get into the car, to move again. That I found that very difficult at times. Do
you know what I did not enjoy, but I thought was lovely? I did because I was in the office. The rare funeral I did go out on was so nice when you saw the family standing by their doors, coming out. I thought that was really touching.
Yeah, especially like the pandemic, the start of it was going through March, going through the summer months. The weather was beautiful, people couldn't go out, but that was, as you say, they was on their doorsteps in the front gardens. Many people were coming out.
I thought the country at that time, and we, you know, when I say country, we're South East London, we're Kent, you know, we see our areas, but everyone come together.
100%.
Do you know, like we go out on funerals every day, and you know, and that respect is still shown. People seem to think it's not, but you know, you do see members of the public take their hats off, pause. It does still happen.
Yeah,
do you know what,
that's like an old-fashioned thing, isn't it? You take your hat off, or you hold your collar, or something like that. But that kind of came back into play a little bit, didn't it? It was sort of.
Well, it was huge. I mean, everywhere, everyone was stopping. But do you know what? It was so sad.
It was horrible. I don't think we'll ever go through, Touchwood, that will never happen again in our lifetime for something so, you know, the pandemic to go through something like that with all these people passing away and stuff like that, like in a short space of time.
You know, I've been doing this 20 years and I've you know, very rarely got caught up and found myself feeling really emotional about it because you know, as you know, you've been doing it long enough as well. You separate yourself, but there was a few times where it hit me where I was like, this is real. This is so real.
Yeah.
And when when families couldn't attend their loved ones' funerals, you know, it really made me appreciate what we do.
It was very difficult because I looked after a family who I knew, and it must have been summer, May, June, something like that, I don't know. They lost their, I think this is the right way around, they lost their dad. The crematorium numbers had gone right down. The family asked for 14 mourners, something like that, 13, 12 maybe, I don't know. Big family, big Irish family. The crematorium allowed it. Their mum died 6 weeks later. And then they said, no, you can't have the same again. And it was like, you know, you can't really do that, you know. And with us, it's...
I remember the first person we went and collected. I went up to hospital myself and was like, right, let's suss this situation out. It was the first one in London, first COVID-19 death in London, I think. And we went to the hospital and it was like, right, we've got to work this out. And from that day on, rule after rule after rule, everything changed. Like you said, it was just so sad when you can't cuddle someone, you can't shake their hand.
And even people like, you know, we know, you've got to be so careful. You can't, like, we was going to houses in the middle of the night, gowned, masked up. I mean, gowned from, you know, with the hood and everything else going on. You know, how can you sort of be close to somebody?
And again, we're lucky, but again, going back to our procedures, our policies, what we're saying, not one member of staff got COVID.
No.
You know, and we were surrounded by surrounded by COVID the whole way through. Where I think for us, Reflection Day comes in, and it's only my good friend Sarah mentioned it to me. I've got to be honest, I hadn't heard of Reflection Day. And when we spoke about it, I thought, no, we've got to do something for it, because what a positive day, you know, let's reflect, let's think back. And when we go on funerals, we have the privilege, we get to know that person. We hear the eulogies. And I don't know about you, but when I sit and listen, I think it's remarkable, because we're so lucky, because you hear someone's life. You know, and it's a shame, because a eulogy for me should be an hour, should be 2 hours. You know, you're talking about, but how families manage to capture someone's life in that short period of time, and you get those snippets, really does make you think about what you're doing, and you reflect on your own life.
Yeah, it's, you know, again, some of the funerals that we've looked after, we've been in the chapel throughout, looking after music and so on, and when you hear eulogies, you hear the funny stories, you kind of can relate to that, and you kind of sort of think, I could have had going back to pubs, I could have had a drink in a pub with him. It's so much like us, and you can't relate to it so much.
And I mean, very recently, so sad, one of my best friends, Dad's sadly passed away, and the eulogies in that service were unbelievable. They was all about Jim and his family and how he was, and they captured him perfectly. And I come out, and it was no lie, they were some of the best eulogies I've ever heard.
As if you would have known the person forever.
But yeah, it was, and it was. They were stunning. They really were. Everyone spoke really well, because it's a hard thing to do as well, standing up in front of everybody.
Yeah, I can do it.
But you know, they all really held themselves together, and again, just so privileged to be able to sit there and listen to all these lovely memories. Yeah. You know, and it will always make me laugh, because I always think not everyone can be this nice and this good, but no, they are.
I find it difficult as well, sort of being in the chapel, doing music and stuff like that. Families can only have so many mourners, sort of in the times 5, 10 people, even now 30 people. We can go in there, but their loved ones sort of can't, and I found that hard as well. That's been difficult.